anybody else about another black man being shot in the back, unprovoked, unwarranted. He wasn't in the commission of a crime. He was in the commission of bringing Subway sandwiches home to his family after working the second of his 2 jobs. All he wanted to do was feed his family. All he wanted to do was come home and rest so he could go out and work his 2 jobs again. But he wasn't able to do that. And he wasn't able to do that because of a rogue-ass race soldier. But the reason he really wasn't able to do that was because of qualified immunity. See, y'all want to defund the police. I want to abandon qualified immunity. I mean, defunding the police takes away necessary resources that they already don't use. I mean, you defund the police, the motherfuckers who do have body cameras that don't use them, they won't get those body cameras. And the motherfuckers who need those body cameras and can't afford them, they won't get those. You really want to defund the police? I mean, they said the brother that got shot in Philadelphia, those police officers didn't have tasers, but they had bullets. So the force that they had to use, they used it. They didn't have an option. They didn't have an option to be able to tase someone. They didn't have an option to be able to pepper spray. They had bullets. So they used what they had. See, some police just gonna use what you have. Not using any type of discretion, not using any type of discernment. They just gonna use what you give them. And they gave them bullets and they shot that brother. So the problem that we have is not just rogue-ass race soldier cops, rogue-ass nigga cops. Because black cops kill black people too. It ain't just always white people. Y'all said people of color, minorities. 2 of the 4 motherfuckers that was on the scene with George Floyd was minorities, were people of color. Immigrants that didn't give a fuck about us. They don't mind getting clumped with us when it means they're gonna get some of them resources that we fought for, that we bled for, that we died for with civil rights. But when it's time to stand with us, when it's time to support us, when it's time to keep us from motherfucking being killed, minorities and people of color ain't black. But the fact that qualified immunity exists, you know who helped put qualified immunity on the board? Your president-elect. See, I know Joe gets all the dap for the 1994 crime bill, but we need to give him all the dap for the 1991 qualified immunity bill. I mean, they first started talking about qualified immunity in the 60s, but they really didn't put it into play until the early 90s, right before the 1994 crime bill. That gave police the right to pretty much shoot you and say they did what was necessary and you couldn't do nothing to them or nothing could be done to them. It gave them free reign to kill us with impunity. Qualified immunity. That's why cops don't go to jail. That's why you can't sue cops when they shoot you, when they shoot your family member, when they take from you that something you'll never be able to get back. You can't take nothing from them because of qualified immunity. And your president-elect created that. Yeah, I'm upset, but I'm not upset and gonna be out here protesting and be out here saying names. I get tired of saying names. I get tired of hashtagging. I'm ready for the shit to stop. As long as we keep hashtagging and calling out names and chanting rhythmically and saying Black Lives Matter, they just gonna keep killing us. Until we get rid of things like qualified immunity, to where you gotta stand 10 toes down on what you did, dog. You shot a motherfucker 3 times in his back, and he was holding Subway sandwiches, not a gun that you said he was waving. They tried to start that false propaganda that he was driving around waving a gun. This motherfucker just came from Subway. Yeah. 40 million black Americans. 85% voted for the person who created qualified immunity for the modern times, who created the 1994 crime bill, backed up by his future boss, Barack Obama, who created Blue Lives Matter. He took y'all Black Lives Matter and said, fuck y'all niggas. Blue Lives Matter. Now what? Let the killing continue. I mean, you're gonna get upset, get upset. I get it. Go on and get upset. But getting upset ain't gonna do shit. And I know we all have our reasons for calling motherfuckers who we call motherfuckers. But this is why I say rappers and entertainers and all that shit, unless they coming for the right shit, they need to stay in their space. I don't mind them getting politically involved, because everybody needs to be politically involved. But frankly, most of these motherfuckers didn't vote before this year. So when you had T.I. and Charlemagne, Leonard going down to talk to Tim Scott about empowerment zones, about closing the wage gap, not closing the wealth gap, closing the wage gap. Who gives a fuck whether we make $15 an hour? We need generational wealth up in this bitch. We don't need generational wages. We need generational wealth. But Clifford Harris and Leonard the God didn't understand that. That's why they went down there hobnobbing with Tim Scott. That chocolate-covered white man, Tim Scott. Because he's against qualified immunity being abandoned. Totally against it. He don't care that niggas getting killed with impunity out here. He needs that. His base needs that. Tell you, a black conservative, show me one that's full-throated for his people. I can't find a black conservative that is full-throated for his people. He down there talking about empowerment zones and closing the wage gap, all while he's saying, T.I., who you've experienced racism with the police, Charlemagne, who you've experienced racism with the police, I want them to be able to continue to harass you, maybe even one day kill you with full impunity. That's why I'm against it. But see, they didn't get into talking about that. They were talking about empowerment zones. They were talking about business opportunities. They were talking about closing the wage gap. It's bullshit. If you're going to get involved with politics, know who you're talking to. Know what they about. Don't just get involved with him because he's a chocolate-covered white man. You know who wants to shut down qualified immunity? Somebody you would never think. He wants to shut it down. He thinks it's useless. Clarence Thomas. Now, Clarence Thomas probably been called a coon more than a coon been called a coon. But he wants to get rid of it. He wants to get rid of qualified immunity. He sure does. Says we don't need it. But Tim Scott said we do need it. So ain't enough of y'all niggas died yet. Y'all need to keep dying out here. Tim Scott don't give a fuck about black people. And I really can't say that Clarence Thomas do. But I know he's trying to right a wrong. So you might not be able to fuck with it, but I can fuck with it. And the reason I can fuck with it is because, yeah, you can have some fucked up shit in your past. But if you try to get right on some shit, some real shit, because that's some real shit, it may never happen. But that's why they're out here doing what they do, because we can't take nothing from them. They can kill us and we can't get shit from them. We can't even get a conviction for manslaughter, murder, nothing. Let alone be able to go right at their family and sue them for every motherfucking thing they got. If I hit somebody out here driving, they can sue me for everything I got, and I ain't got a motherfucking thing. They better hit that insurance. But they could still try to put a lawsuit against me. But a cop kills a man, kills a woman, kills a child. You can't sue them. They're protected by qualified immunity. So fuck that 1994 crime bill. Fuck defunding the police. You need to be concerned about qualified immunity. And if you don't know, go read up on it. You don't believe me? Go check it out. Because I ain't going to be the same kind of upset you upset. I'm not putting no names and hashtags no more. I'm done with that shit. They killing us because they can. Now my goal is to start working on trying to figure out ways for them not to be able to kill us because they can. Not chant, not dance, not protest, not hashtag. Fuck your hashtags. It's a BlackWatch. I'm a black man who's ADOS. I don't know what all that other shit is. I know I'm an American descendant of slavery. I don't know what all that other shit is. I don't know what people of color is. I don't know what a minority is. I don't know what BIPOC is. I don't know what an African American is. I don't know what a Negro is. I don't know what being colored is. I'm ADOS. Subscribe to the channel. Fuck it. Or don't.